find your audience and the right brands to work with. Podmetrics, your one-stop shop for podcast analytics, and it's absolutely free. Just create an account and put in the code Coach Franco Says upon sign up. So I'll repeat it, Coach Franco Says. It's that easy. Enjoy the features. Thank me later. But wait. There's more. Podmetrics has teamed up with Lazada to make your shopping for gear a lot easier and safer. There are links in the comment section. What I use to make content, and you can support this channel by purchasing those items.
3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? This is your Tito sa Fighting, and we are here on Facebook and all major podcasting platforms. Together with me are my co-hosts from Dstry MNL, Reyes and Karl, Mesa, and we are here to round up everything that happened in the world of combat in this edition of Combat Sports Weekly. So, we will begin with some MMA news. We go head on over to 1FC because we have several of our kababayans. I think we got 2 na came from the Catalan camp that competed in the recent 1FC card.
Jomari
Torres. Yan. Jomari Torres versus who's the girl
Ritu Fogat.
Yeah, one of the famous Indian Fogat sisters.
So now it's the lack of drilling time, doing your repetitions, doing your drills. Kasi when I mean the fight was really very simple.
Short.
So Fogat just took her down. Kasi ito lang yun eh. The Catalan guys, okay, headed by sila Coach Rene Catalan, they're really good. They're really proficient in striking. Nobody will want to strike with them. Nobody. Ganun kasimple yun. So game plan would be to take you down. Diba? Take you down, finish you off with the submission or ground and pound. And this is exactly what happened. So Fogat took her down, and the only thing that Jomari was able to do was recover guard. That's it. Para po sa, we're saying all of this, okay, with all respect and love to the MMA community because we want the community to grow. So it's what you can do from the bottom. Next, this is where we see na sparring is not enough. You really have to put in your hours of repetition. And you really have to, yan, exactly, 100% from JC. Drills. Okay, next, proper instruction. Hindi pwedeng, this is a very huge practice within the entire, it's not just from the Catalans. I see this a lot from different MMA camps. They do, pahapiaw lang yung grappling training.
Yeah. I think Ben Askren said this in a Joe Rogan podcast. Parang wala masyadong drilling talaga.
Yes, diba? You have to be proficient in striking and in grappling. You can't be good in striking tapos sasabihin mo na my striking will compensate for my lack of grappling.
Hindi na pa yung old days of the UFC.
Exactly.
Hard,
Exactly. Totoo yan. And I mean, it happens in the highest level. Like what me and my fellow Titos watched recently, sige, Justin Gaethje versus Khabib. Justin Gaethje,
Division 1 NCAA
Div 1. Pero he concentrated on his striking. He's been winning with his striking.
Yeah.
He leaned too much on his striking na he
wrestling.
forgot his wrestling. Exactly. So when Khabib took him down, wala. Nga siya. Di ba? Kahit ako nagulat ako, sabi ko, okay, ito makikita na natin yung wrestling ni Justin. Then Khabib took him down. Transition to back, went to mount. Di ba? It was too easy.
I was actually worried na na baka ma-wrestle ni Justin si Khabib nun.
Ayun nga hinihintay natin, di ba?
That would have been great.
That would have been great.
Umabot man lang ng 5 minutes.
To challenge Khabib's wrestling.
Diba? So again, going back to the Torres fight, she got taken down. I think I mentioned this one of my breakdown videos. Lumabas na naman yung sakit ng mga Pilipino na people take you down, get to side mount, they see a neck, they go for a guillotine from side mount. Please, again, everyone, okay, it does not work. Okay, it does not work. A guillotine. Mangangawit ka lang from bottom side mount. Please, everyone from the jiu-jitsu.
If you're up against somebody like OSP, ano ka pa? Flu ka pa.
So again, we've seen one too many fights already. If you get taken down and your opponent is on side mount, kahit na anong kapit mo sa liig na yan, hindi mo matatapos yan. I've only seen one person finish a guillotine from side mount. And his name is Marcelo Garcia. Marcelo Garcia is a grappling god. Okay? So you are a god. So you have to be a god.
There are levels to it.
There are levels to this shit, okay? So please, again, we want to grow the community, and this is our public service announcement. Guillotines from side mount do not work, okay?
Yep.
Karl has been practicing luta libre. JC has been practicing martial arts. I have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So please, I think we're credible enough to tell you.
And for me, based on personal experience, I really know na yung guillotine from the side mount does not work because it happened to me. I lost a tournament because of that.
Ang
So,
hirap
you know.
kasi i-drill out. Parang, uy,
okay,
leeg.
so-
Leeg. Parang, let's go.
Diba? If you have the neck, for example, you get taken down, it will happen din naman, diba? Fight the urge. So if you
Fight the
get the
urge.
leg, if someone gets you on a takedown and then you get a hold of their leg, diba? Don't allow them to go to side mount. Ganun ka simple yun. So it's either you sprawl, you get to close guard, diba? You don't. I've seen some people din naman, they have the hold, diba? They have that head and arm control, naka-side mount. Ang balak nila ngayon, overpower. They're gonna turn kasi they see strong people do it. So if you're really strong, it will happen. Pero it's not a guarantee, diba? It's not technical.
Parang low percentage.
Low percentage yan. So again, when you have the neck, don't allow your opponents to go to side mount, go to close guard or sprawl or try to recover. Now, when you get to close guard, when you get to half guard, or when you're playing in the bottom position, you have to know how to control your opponents. You have to neutralize your opponent's attacks, and then you start doing your own attacks. So dyan ngayon papasok lahat ng guard attacks nyo from it doesn't end in guard recovery. Ang nakikita natin kasi when people get to close guard, okay na ako, yakap
Okay na ako. Ano
Okay,
na ako?
papahinga na
Itatayo na ako ng ref.
Oo, di ba? So if your goal is for the referee to stand you up, then that's good, di ba? Pero how long can you hold that position? And when holding someone down, syempre they're trying to posture
energy.
up. It takes energy. Nakakapagod yun. So you have to fight several factors. Your opponent is posturing up, so it's easier for the top person to posture up. Ikaw, you're working against gravity. When you're working against gravity, you're pulling someone down. Mas nakakapagod yun. Okay? From there, you get your attacks. And dito rin ngayon papasok, you have to have a grappling coach. You have to have a wrestling coach, a jiu-jitsu coach. I mean, whatever
Hindi pwedeng isa lang.
Hindi pwedeng, tsaka ito rin yun, to JC's point, hindi rin naman pwedeng, I'm pretty sure practice to ng marami, once or twice a week
No
lang.
doubt.
I strongly suggest 3
Hindi kayo
times a
pwedeng
week.
recreational, guys.
You're professional fighters.
You're professional fighters, you want to win. Your goal is to win fights. Kasi ito yun eh, if you win fights, you get another chance of fighting.
Yeah.
And then when your contract is done, since you're winning, the promotion will sign you again. Yun ang goal natin. Diba? We have more than enough jiu-jitsu coaches in this country. Nakaaral ka na, nakatulong ka pa by paying those coaches. So please, okay? Invest in yourself. And the best investment is to build your skills. When you build your skills, you get better, you get notoriety, you get paid. More opportunities will happen.
Yeah.
And at the same time,
Okay,
Fogat got into side mount, crucifix, ground and pound.
Yeah.
That was it.
And
That was the fight.
it's no surprise kasi sobrang pedigreed na wrestler si Rito. So there's no
National
surprise
team
na
wrestler siya,
strategy
diba?
niya.
Yeah.
Oh, tapos she comes from a family of wrestlers. So walang ano yung strategy niyan, man. So
Parang dapat pagpasok mo dun, alam
Pasok
ko
mo
na
dun, alam mo na.
Alam ko na kung
Parang-
ano gagawin ito.
If you're not well versed in the ground game, never try to
Never
go there
try.
with
Don't.
a
With a
wrestler
wrestler.
or a
Okay,
grappler.
with a wrestler.
which brings
So-
us to our next match.
It was a game of chance na lang talaga. It was a striking battle. They went for a clinch. It just so happens na Catalan went for a takedown. It was a good sprawl by his opponent. And then, towards the middle of
kick.
the recovery, high kick, shin to the face, knockdown. Very unfortunate. Pero
Kind
again,
of reminds me of getting knocked out by Ngannou. Parang almost
grabe!
swerte
Out!
kunyari.
you never
KOs.
you never know what's gonna happen, diba? And just like our previous episodes, there are so many knockout of the year candidates already. We've seen It only shows the evolution of mixed martial arts and the athleticism of the fighters. One of the rare chances that we saw an opponent last kay Gary Tonon, diba? Gary Tonon was
Escape from
able to
his back mount. My God.
Diba? Gary Tonon wasn't. We don't know what was Gary Tonon's objective. He probably wanted to strike more, wanted to, diba? He probably it's been a while since he fought. Pero yun nga yun eh. It only shows that this guy knows what he's doing. Kasi he was able to escape.
He prepared for Gary, man.
Oh, he was able to get out of the back attacks.
Of the Lion Killer.
Diba?
Wow.
Gary wasn't really able to set up. I mean, he was able to set things up.
Yeah.
He was able to get the back, but he wasn't able to maintain and sustain that position.
He was surprised talaga.
He was surprised talaga. Kasi di ba tayo, pag nakuha ni Tonon yung likod, sabi natin, di ba?
Wala na. That's it, man.
Pwede na tayo uminom. Okay, tapos na to.
90% finish rate, di ba? But
what's interesting dito kay Koyomi Matsushima is before he went into one championship, siya yung Shooto welterweight tournament champion.
Ayan
naman pala.
Yan naman pala.
Pero from welterweight, bumaba siya ng featherweight.
So he cut weight pa, di ba? So you were the welterweight champion, then you had to cut para, ano to, kumakamzat ba to? Kumakamzat siya
feeling ko.
Hindi, bumaba ata siya nung pumasok siya sa one, parang ganun.
So at least,
very ripped.
Our favorite leagues to watch, Karate Combat.
Yep.
Yes, Karate Combat.
They all
amazing.
How about you take the lead? Napanood mo to, Coach.
Di ba? Ano to?
Let's talk about it.
And to make things better, they had the Mountain.
From Game of Thrones.
From Game of Thrones, who was a guest fight analyst, and he was doing his work topless. So you just imagine a big burly guy.
In a fur coat.
Hindi, yun nga. He started, di ba? He entered with a fur coat. Pero while he was commentating...
inalis na.
Inalis niya. As in, when the second fight ended, the guy paid tribute to Boss Ruten. They all stood up, clapped their hands. Nakita ko si Mountain, laka-laka nakahubad. Laka-laka yung mama, topless.
Si half Thor, Bjornsson.
Ako, I kind of agree with Boss Ruten. I really thought na it was a unanimous decision for the winner.
Nagulat ka ako ng split eh.
This is where JC's point was, we're gonna take into consideration JC's point na the pit brings in a totally different landscape with fighting. So now, di ba the earlier
fight.
The earlier installments of Karate Combat, people didn't really know how to utilize the pit. Now,
a different kind of familiarity.
So this is a curve for people who are gonna watch this. The pit,
a 45 degree.
There's a 45-degree angle, and according to the rule set pala ni Karate Combat, if you fall or you lean towards the pit, yes, you are considered a downed opponent, and your opponent is allowed to hit you pa din.
For 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds. Kasi it's either, and we also see the evolution and the improvements of the fighters being accustomed to getting used to the rule set. Medyo nagiging okay na sila. So, I mean, pretty good strikes. What I like about the first fight was the aggressiveness of both fighters. Tsaka wala, bigayan sila, no?
The Russian guy and the South American guy.
Si Russian guy yung nanalo dun eh.
Surprise, di ba? Kasi nag-gas out yung guy. Ang laki kasi niya.
Ubusan sila ng hangin. Ubusan sila ng hangin.
Yung Russian medyo taba-taba, di ba?
Dad bod yung Russian. That guy.
Andrei Arlovsky, Jackness level yung Russian guy.
Pero older
Arlovsky. Kasi siya, it's like
ngayon.
Like
mata-buff. Universal soldier. Mata-buff.
Mata-buff siya. So they both gassed out pero they were able to reach the third round. The third round, he was able to sneak in this really good uppercut that took his opponent down. Tapos wala na. The guy was just really exhausted. Referee stopped the fight. One sequence that I really like about this fight, I strongly suggest people. It's actually a move na you can use in MMA. So he was able to take his opponent down. This happens mid part of the second round. So his opponent kinda used his legs to create space. So parang sinampa niya lang. Ang galing nung kalaban niya. Ang galing ni Russian guy. Para siya, sa basketball, para siya nag-spin move.
Mhm.
So he went forward, and then upon contact with the leg, he do a spin. He did the spin move. He ended up in parang neon belly position. He was able to grab the pod. Ang galing! Sabi ko,
Spin lang siya.
puta, ang galing nun ah. I mean, the timing was there, the angle was good. Sabi ko, puta, okay yun ah. If people
Russian
get to
guy
see this,
is apparently Shahin Atamov.
So, I mean, if people get to see that small sequence, it's a very small sequence, but it's
Useful.
very, very
Useful.
Magagamit nyo yan. Kasi, di ba, a lot of people, when people get taken down and then they use their, especially the grapplers, di ba, makikita nyo, maganda yung guard retention nila, they use their legs to create space. So, ngayon, yung tao sa ibabaw, yung nakita mo, medyo di mo alam kung anong gagawin kasi baka ma-upkick sila. This is actually one really good maneuver. Going towards the third fight, kasi pareho si second and third fight na nakita ko, they both utilize the pit. I mean, the walls of the pit. The walls of the pit.
Because the fighters were already training with half a pit in their
in their
games.
parang sinabi rin ni Bas Ruto dyan eh, na someone, I forgot kung sino fighter, pero he actually built like a half pit on his garage.
It was the black guy na French, si David Dona. Yeah.
So, that French guy sa kanya ata nakita yung sequence
yung may mohawk.
Yeah, yung may mohawk. He would back down. The moment he felt his foot touch the side of the pit, he would launch himself. He would launch himself. It was actually
galing,
it was actually smart. Sabi ko, puta, ang galing nun ah.
Ang galing.
So now people are using the tools that they have. So they're not just limited to their karate skills.
It's so interesting. Yeah.
They're using the pit now, which is
pit na.
Parang now it's gonna be interesting how other fighters are going to adapt, knowing that pwede pala natin gamitin yung pit eh. Diba?
Interesting kasi obviously point fighting yung background nila. So wala silang ganun in that arena. Talagang open space lang. So ngayon, pwede pala yun.
And for a point fighting system na combat league, there are a lot of KOs and TKOs. Pure striking and knockouts, karate combats for you.
Yeah. Kasi usually then these days, ang alam lang ng tao na almost pag karate tournament is just a point system tournament
Oo. Nagsisigawan tapos point. Itigil na. Like, would you guys know if allowed ang up kicks? Because I've never seen anybody get up.
Pero ang weird nga sa rules nila is supposedly hindi pwede ang wrestling, ang submissions, ang knees, ang elbows and uppercuts.
Yeah.
Dapat. Pero parang
uppercut. Nagulat
pero yun, may yung second fight. Yung second fight, uppercut yung dahilan kung bakit bumagsak yung lalaki. So, I think they're also adapting to I mean everyone
what the audience wants.
This is a new league with new rules. Really new. So I think it's growing pains though. This is like a lot of growing pains, pero they're providing us with huge entertainment. One thing that I hope they can how do I put this? One thing that they can work on is I cannot agree with the 5-second rule on the ground and pound kasi especially with the second and the third fight, there were so many instances wherein people were just covering up and they were getting blows. Kasi if it's just 5 seconds, you can just wait it out. Pero if the rule set allows the person at least 30 seconds to work, we'll see more ground and pound knockouts. As in, tsaka ito yun eh. For the guy who is on top, you have momentum with you eh.
Yes.
You have momentum with you. Then you just have a 5-second window to put everything in. So I know that the goal is to keep things exciting and entertaining.
I like it. 30 seconds.
Pero the caliber of the fighters that we're seeing right now, I don't think that they're gonna let up. So, I mean, of course, Karate Combat, if you get to watch this, we get to see this. Suggestion lang po. It's just a suggestion.
Oo. Kahit 20 seconds, okay lang din naman.
20 seconds is good.
20 seconds,
okay lang din naman.
I'm good with 20 seconds.
Basta time to work, I think that's a good point. Yun lang naman. What is our jackness level? That's an important question.
The third fight, grabe yun eh. Parang
medyo matindi na. Ito na eh.
Doon tayo sa Johnny Hendricks. Doon tayo sa Johnny Hendricks. Kasi pang-knockout yun. Pang-knockout yun.
Grabe, di ba? Sabi ko, bakit parang hindi sila uminom ng tubig. Sabi,
tuyong-tuyo.
Tuyong-tuyo. Yun eh. Tuyong-tuyo eh.
Di 300 ba na bago?
Tsaka makikita mo kahit na during the breaks, di ba? During the breaks, magtataka ka, sabi ko, parang hindi sila pawis Malakas ba yung aircon sa venue?
Aircon dyan sa
Ba't hindi sila nilala? Pero nakikita mo si Mountain, nakahubad
Nakahubad.
So,
ibig sabihin, okay lang. Sabagay, he's Norwegian, di ba? Or Scandinavian.
Diba? Karl, please, let us know what happened with not just the UFC, okay? We're gonna discuss naman something on the business side of fight promotions, please.
Yeah. So in recent news, we all know that si Yoel Romero just got cut from the UFC. The next couple of, I think today lang, Rachel Ostovich also got cut. Si Yoel kasi is coming off of 4 losses in his last 5 fights. He's 44 years old. So ang reasoning ni Dana, I don't think he's going to get another run at the championship at that age. Plus if he were to rematch Israel, there would not be that much hype behind it. Okay, I get it. Rachel Ostovich, marami nagpalakpakan na lalaki. Thinking now, because Paige Van Sant has been doing well in her efforts outside of the UFC, we still want to see her in bare knuckle. We hope Rachel Ostovich all the best in her post.
I hear she has a great selling calendar.
I would like, yes, basta mapondohan ng kanyang next fight.
Diba? Yun din parang it's a good plus pag chicks ka diba? So you're a chick and then you can fight.
May at the very least meron kang future, diba?
Diba? So now people are waiting for their Instagram posts, people are waiting for their OnlyFans page. So
this just begs a good question. Kasi ang promise ni Dana, there will be 60 cuts before the year ends or at very least by the middle of January. Is this economically a good move for both the fighters and UFC, or is it something that we should be mourning?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. You have to look at it from an operational standpoint, from a business standpoint, and then of course, for the side of the fighter who got cut, syempre it's very devastating. Diba? You're already
from
in
the UFC, parang
diba, you're already in the UFC. You're training every day. You're motivating yourself for a chance to be in the world stage, to perform in the world stage. So for you to get cut, syempre sobrang hassle na
sobrang hassle. Paano na ang kita ko?
Paano na, diba? On the flip side naman kasi, I'm really sure na these are just the really new ones. Si Yoel naman kasi, Yoel had his run. At least Yoel had his run, di ba?
He did.
And Yoel now still has potential, he still has leverage, and he can still fight if he wants to.
Parang Yoel, completely different conversation kung saan pupunta si Yoel, di ba? Kasi exciting din yun.
Tapos rin naman tawag dito, he has a few good years left in him, probably 1 or 2 more years before he calls
siguro no kasi 44 na siya
then just di ba just head on to the sunset kasi don't force it na pero the difference between Yoel and the other guys that got cut is medyo malayo kasi Yoel
malayo talaga.
Yung the other people that got cut, wala pang mga pangalan yan, wala pang they haven't even established themselves. So they probably announced to everyone na I'm part of the UFC roster, then the next thing you know, oh shit, I got cut. Diba?
Next year parang di pa yung iba hindi pa pala nakalaban.
Yun din. From heading on to the other side, so from a business perspective, this is all about saving your company.
Yes.
Diba? This is all about saving your company. It's a very sad move, pero it's a very necessary move as well. Syempre, if you want to survive the company, I mean, and the UFC, it's not just the UFC that's doing this, diba? Bellator did it.
Oh yeah.
PFL probably will do it. Other organizations will probably do it even without announcing it. At least the UFC. There is such a huge name that it won't
Everything
escape.
makes news
Everything makes news. It won't escape anybody's radar UFC, okay. Bellator, PFL, IFL, even 1FC. Tsaka ito rin naman kasi yun UFC, Bellator, 1FC. They have their stars, but they also have their pool of fighters.
Yep.
Diba? That's why they hold the Contender Series. Si Bellator, they're actively recruiting the free agency market. Si 1FC, they go to different countries and hold tryouts. Dito na lang sa atin, dito sa Pilipinas, 1FC has been very aggressive in signing a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Pero
Yeah.
not all of those fighters who are signed will get a fight contract or will even get a
Yes.
fight. Diba? They'll sign a
Yeah.
contract pero hindi naman sila lalaban. Kasi isi-schedule pa sila. Because 1FC has a calendar that they have to follow. The same with the UFC. The UFC will sign fighters but they have to schedule you. Diba? Now, going back to the UFC, here's the thing, from an operational standpoint, if you're a fighter under the UFC banner, you get all the benefits.
Yeah.
Tama.
Diba? I mean,
Performance center and
famous-
everything else.
Oh.
these are the things that people don't
Supplements.
really see. You get supplements from the UFC. You get Reebok merchandise.
Legal
from the
magic
UFC.
beans. Yeah.
Diba? Legal
Yes,
magic.
legal magic beans. USADA approved.
Diba?
Except for
Okay.
Greg Hardy's inhaler.
Diba? You get USADA testing. Tapos you get you get to use the medical facility. If you're in Vegas, you can use the UFC Performance Center
Yes.
like any time of the day you want.
Masahe,
Lahat.
recovery, doctors, ano.
Diba?
And-
You have access to nutritionists, the gym, the all the equipment, lahat ng sinabi ni Karl na amenities, you have access to that.
Swimming pool.
What else?
And this is all considering the fact that as of yesterday, the UFC actually has a roster of 659 fighters.
Ayun.
Yeah.
Bawas na yan.
Yeah, before we go
Ganyan
to
kadami.
the MMA math.
Yeah.
Ano pala JC yung tingin mo like because UFC obviously releases fighters
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Pero itong dalawang to, bakit release? Like considering they're famous.
It's because of their performance na rin. Plus, yung current
Bagay,
situation.
they're coming off losses, no?
I think that's one of the things. Kasi
That's a good point.
si Yoel. I mean, ilang fights niya na previously na he didn't use his wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, we both watch, we all watch Israel
Yeah.
and Joel, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang, anong nangyari doon?
Super bad.
Yeah.
So, now that we can go to the MMA math, so, consider guys, si UFC needs to put on 42 shows. That means 12 to 13 fights on average per fight card. So, that's what? Around 500 to 546 fights for the whole year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, that needs 400 to 437 fighters. Dami! So sabi mo nga JC, ilan yung fighters ngayon?
Currently, bawas na yung mga recently na cut 659.
Ang dami pa rin, di ba?
So they still have a surplus
ano ba yung
of
average,
fighters.
coach? Ano yung ako kasi apparently yung surplus nila nakuha sa mga tough na kung saan-saan. Yung Latin America, yung Europe.
Yung pa.
I guess
Yung
yung mga
Dana
na-absorb
White.
before from
And this is where we see how big this is where we see how big the operation
UFC is.
how big the UFC, how big the operations of the
Regionals
UFC
niya.
is. Diba? So we only see the Vegas, the main cards, pero
Ang dami niya.
for the benefit of everyone, there's UFC Latin America, there's UFC Europe, there's UFC China.
Yeah.
Diba?
Obviously,
They're trying
China
to
and
penetrate.
Asia.
They're trying to assess the potential
the
of
Chinese
having UFC
market.
Philippines.
Shanghai.
Diba? They want to establish a presence in Singapore as well.
Mhm.
Pero yun nga doon natin nakikita na this is a global operations. It entails a lot of costs.
And like any corporation, may bloat, di ba?
Yeah.
Yep. So they just have to trim the fat. They're trimming the fat right now, and it's all for the survival of the organization.
Yeah.
I think feeling ko I really think Bellator did the same. 1FC did the same.
Yeah.
Si 1FC kasi tahimik siya. Si Bellator
Oo.
medyo nag-aano. Si 1FC magugulat ka na lang wala na pala sa roster.
Wala na
Oo,
pala siya roster.
Diba?
Oh.
Parang it's just it's a matter of who is going to break the news, diba? Tsaka ito rin naman yun someone broke news na parang okay, they got ito lang yun they got cut, who cares? Ganun lang yun, who cares?
Parang
Like,
ganun nga
okay, diba? Sayang, sorry,
Yeah.
pero diba?
Kasi for guys like Yoel and si Rachel Ostovich, leaving the UFC, allows them for, I guess, better
Yes.
opportunities outside.
Now they can test free agency.
Yeah.
Ano ba talagang worth nila?
Tsaka
Yung
ano
mga
yan?
baguhan, yung mga sayang.
Oh, yun na,
Mga
sayang.
baguhan,
Oh.
sayang. Pero
Isa naman hindi ka lumaban.
Oo.
for the more established fighters, yan, like the two fighters we mentioned, they can always go, ano na ba, sino na ba nag-decline kay Yoel? Bellator, tsaka
PFL
di ba?
and Bellator.
So there's bare knuckle fighting,
Yeah, who's very interested daw kayo.
diba? They're very
Yoel.
interested with Yoel, and Yoel naman can really punch and he can knock
Yeah.
out people. Or 1FC, baka naman.
Ah,
Yeah.
baka pwede. Baka pwede.
So if for
Get
example,
him
so,
all the power pellets.
so if Yoel goes to bare knuckle
Cubans.
fighting, he's gonna fight. He'll probably end up fighting Frank Mir. He can also fight
Oh, yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Who else?
Sounds good.
But then, kasi he can either fight in 205. Let's make him fight in 205.
Pwede,
Kasi
pwede.
he finds it really hard to cut in 185. Tsaka bare knuckle fighting lang naman.
Yeah.
There's no wrestling. There's no grappling there. It's just mean.
He will still
straight up.
love you.
Diba?
At least he really doesn't need his wrestling there.
If he goes 1FC, I want to see him fight
Ongla.
Ongla Onsang.
Wala.
Pwede.
Diba? He can fight Brandon Vera 205. That's gonna be an interesting match.
Mhm.
Who else? He can also
Lane.
fight that athletic.
Nalani.
Yung
Lane
athletic.
Nalani.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tao, yeah.
Oh, favorite ni
Jackness,
JC yan.
di ba? Parehong
Jackness
Uberim.
level, pareho.
Di ba? Parehong Uberim. Let's see how they fare against each
Yeah.
other. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the road for Yoel. I mean, he can
Yeah.
even go to Ryzen for all we care.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Oh,
Diba?
damn.
I think the Japanese crowd can appreciate someone like Yoel Romero. So I mean, if he has 1 or 2 years left of fighting in him, he
Have
can
him enjoy.
maximize. Diba? He can definitely.
We know the fascination of Japan with freaks of nature fighters.
Yun, exactly. So,
And definitely Yoel is a
Yeah.
freak of nature.
so talagang so
Yeah.
at least diba he gets to travel the world and get paid.
Mm.
Khabib
Yeah.
bought an MMA promotion. Okay.
Gorilla FC.
Gorilla Fighting Championship,
Gorilla
which is
Fighting
out of Kazakhstan, I think. Yeah.
UFC Fight Pass will give the US market more access to seeing Russian fighters.
Yeah, which is
So the
apparently
Magomedovs
beasts.
and
Oo,
the Magomedovs.
The entire array of the talent pool of Russia. So it's very scary. It's a very scary what do you call it? It's gonna be entertaining, but it's also very scary because now, diba, Khabib is apparently the entry point. There are a lot more.
a lot.
There are a
more.
lot more Khabibs apparently. And-
Exactly.
Ah,
And to
according-
your experience.
Yeah.
and to my experience, shout out to the people of IMMAF, the EMAF people. When I was able to have a conversation with one of their directors, they said, "We have plenty of Khabibs, and we have people who are better than Khabib."
Scary.
oh
So I was
my.
like,
Scary.
oh my
So
God.
what are the guys wrestling if
Diba,
not bears?
how are these people training? And
Yeah.
now I'm very curious how they fight. So
We saw a fight in the welterweight division again. Errol Spence Jr., at least a year after his devastating car accident na yung kotse niya, if I remember right, na total wreck, pero nakaligtas siya. Luckily, I think he supposedly suffered a very serious back injury from there, pero this weekend he fought Danny Garcia and won via unanimous decision. This is considering that he probably got a lot of damage from that accident. He was very impressive in that outing. Actually, muntik nang matapos yung fight, maaga pa lang eh. Muntikan na si Danny Garcia, matibay lang din talaga siya.
oh, 100%. I like that's been his trademark ever since. He utilized his jab. He attacked the body. He attacked the head.
Ang tatalas yung jumps niya talaga.
Oh, one thing that Arrow was really good was utilizing his jab. And me and JC had this conversation nga kanina na for a guy who came from a life and career-threatening accident, diba? He performed exceptionally well. Okay, of course, we don't know the process of the recovery, pero I mean,
hard to come back from that.
It's hard to come back from that, and I really think and I really believe that he was just happy boxing again.
Yeah.
It was a really good performance. Danny Garcia was no pushover. Definitely, he had his moments. He had his shining moments in the earlier rounds. Pero
Yung mga body shots niya kay Errol Spence.
towards the end, this is something about Errol Spence that I like. Towards this, approaching the second half, he probably got his second wind. He had rhythm and momentum going with him. Medyo tumaas yung output niya Tumaas yung output niya second half of the fight. Parang round 7 towards round 12, tumaas ang output niya And the accumulation of punches were clearly evident sa mukha ni Danny Garcia. Di ba?
Yeah.
And the body shots were there. The angles were there. Danny Garcia was able to adjust sa southpaw style ni Errol Spencer, pero he used a lot of low and high jabs. Sobrang sipag ng output
Sabi
niya.
nga, he has a very underrated jab game.
We saw how the jab was able to set up the hooks to the body and the hooks to the head. In the early rounds, he was using a lot of straights. Towards the second half, he would utilize 2 to 3 jabs, angle out, hook to the body, hook to the head. Every time that Danny Garcia would go for a weave, merong sasalubong na hook sa kanya sa opposite end. May follow-up siya. So, I mean, pretty good outing. I enjoyed watching the fight. More than anything, I enjoyed watching Errol in the ring again after gaano katagal siya nawala? More than a year yun, di ba?
Yeah, more than
a
year
year.
or more, a little over a year. And after this fight, Spence said sa post-fight that he was interested in fighting Manny Pacquiao, who is another champion in that division. Pero somebody was in the audience na hindi nila pinansin. Si Terence Crawford that he supposedly should fight.
and the camera was pointing at, there were times that the camera was pointing kay Terence Crawford, di ba? Pinapakita ko ano yung ginagawa ni Terence Crawford.
Pero I think he wanted to go up the ring, pero mukhang hindi siya pinapayagan. Kasi outsider siya, he's from Top Rank, and everybody, and all other welterweights are from their promotion from PBC. So
It's a puwera siya.
Yeah, tablado siya.
It will be a good fight. I'd watch Errol Spencer versus Terence Crawford fight.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. It's gonna be technically and visually enticing. Pero if we're talking about money fights, syempre, you go Manny Pacquiao. Now, if Pacquiao fights Errol, it's gonna be unification bout. Kasi may belt din si Pacquiao, di ba?
Yeah.
Pacquiao has the WBO. Yeah, Pacquiao has the WBO.
One of the best in that division but he's not that much of a money draw.
For some weird reason though, for a guy who's good in that division, I don't understand why he's not really well known. I mean, I think we're gonna go back to the structure of boxing promotions.
Yeah.
Parang
I think it's the promoter's job.
Yeah.
50-50, I guess. Promoter's job and the fighter's job to promote himself.
Yeah.
Pero in this case, I mean, Crawford kasi is a type of guy who does all the work, not much the talking.
Popular sa mainstream crowd,
popular.
no?
Pero parang ang popular si Crawford dun sa
boxing
hardcore.
crowd. Oo, boxing crowd.
Na umiiwas siya sa mga welterweights ng PBC, which he's not. I mean, gusto niya nga niyang umalis sa Top Rank and hopefully go to PBC para malabanan niya na yung iba. Pero
I think, di ba Top Rank is gonna release him? I think Bob Arum wants to release
hindi
him.
malinaw Parang ayaw siyang, weird to si Bob Arum. Ayaw niyang i-promote daw si Crawford ng maayos kasi kasalanan daw ni Crawford kung bakit siya unpopular. I mean, why would you say that to your fighter?
Pero he's not gonna cut him. Diba?
Hindi nga yung weird
Hindi, ito yun. Bob Arum is fucking up his career.
Hindi
Na
nga.
parang, okay, I'm not, so you're gonna go against me, I'm not gonna release you.
It's exactly what he did to the likes of Manny Pacquiao and all others.
Diba? Mabubulo ka dito.
Yeah.
Diba? Not unless you can opt out of your contract or you hire a really good lawyer and you settle this.
I think his contract with Top Rank is expiring in like 6 months or so.
So we can probably wait for that chance, di ba? you feel like you're not being represented properly, pero you're bound by your contract. Yun yung problema.
Yeah.
It's like this is one of the
You want out but you sign for something.
Oo, yung mga basura stuff ng business side ng fighting. I really hope that there will come a day wherein if a fighter feels na he's being misrepresented, then he can just talk to the promotion and the promotion will just say, okay, if you feel like that, be okay.
That's
we'll
what Canelo did.
Diba?
Yeah.
And Canelo has leverage na rin kasi.
Yeah.
Diba?
So, si Crawford kasi wala pa.
Okay, sisingit ko lang po to to many of our boxing fans. Syempre naman, for obvious reasons, the Philippines is a huge boxing country.
Yeah.
And just like our previous episodes, we always give our thanks and appreciation to people who are mounting combat sports events, and no other than our very own Omega Boxing Promotions. Shout out po sa inyo.
Yes.
Mabuhay po kayong lahat dyan sa Omega Boxing Promotions. They are going to hold a boxing event in IPI Complex Mandaue City on December 18.
Congrats.
It's a 2-in-1 event.
Yep, it's a 2-in-1 event.
Guys.
So the first one, Kumbati 6. I hope I did not mess that up. Okay, Kumbati 6. So it's at 1 p.m. The fighters over there are Tomjun Mangubat with an 11-2-1 record. We have Mark Viceles with a 12-0-1. So undefeated. Tapos we have Benny Cañete who's debuting. And then we have Reggie Suganov with a 4-0 record. Undefeated din pala to.
Yeah.
Then one of the main event fighters is Carlo Bacaro, who's also undefeated. So these are fighters from the light. Very good fight card kasi these are people who are in the lighter weight division. So normally when people are here, fights are faster and you'll see a lot of technical proficiency. Next is guys are amazing kasi you're gonna hold 2 events in one day. Oo, di ba? Parang double header na natin to.
Isang venue.
Omega Boxing Promotions is laying down the foundation for reviving the combat sports scene. So IPI Complex Mandaue City, Kumbati 7. So that's now at 7 p.m. We have Pete Apolinar, 12-1-0, not bad. Very good record. Pete Apolinar. Then we have Christian Araneta, 18-1-0. Ang gaganda ng record nito mga to. And then we have Franco Serafica, 3-1-0. So far, yung mga Franco, laging nananalo. So,
pogi na lang kayo.
A very well-known name in the local boxing scene, Albert Pagara, who's 32-1-0. Karl James Martin. So he is 15-0. So this guy is something I enjoy watching his fights. I like the way he fights. His style is there. So I really wish him well dito sa Kumbati 7. Again, we have so this is in accordance with their titignan ko yung bottom poster. They have with them the IATF. So of course, all Omega products.
Safety protocols.
So you have your Omega painkiller.
Safe na
Omega products.
Yep.
Si IPI Philippines owns Omega. So lahat ng Omega painkiller products. So
safe
Omega,
na safe sila dyan.
Safe na safe sila dyan. Pag masakit ang katawan mo, meron kang Omega painkiller.
Yeah.
Pag sobrang sakit ng katawan mo, meron kang Omega Painkiller Pro. Tapos,
pag sakong masahe lang, may efficacent oil.
May efficacent oil, di ba? Tapos, when you're in the venue, kailangan mo ng alcohol, they're gonna give you casino ethyl alcohol. Okay? Kills germs and viruses. Tapos, right after the fight, syempre, kailangan mong maligo, meron kang Bioderm. Diba? All of these products, patay lahat ng bacteria at viruses dyan.
Good branding.
So, good branding to. Good branding.
Kinulang pa sila ng safety measures yun, ewan ko na lang.
Diba? Kung may madali pa dito, ewan ko na lang tama. Ewan ko talaga.
Kulang na lang alak, pati loob.
Pati loob. So,
a middleweight Olympian, si Yumir Marshall, will be debuting on December 16 against Andrew Whitfield. So, middleweight na talaga officially ang magiging laban niya. He's gonna fight because he's fighting under MP Promotions.
MP Promotions.
Premier Boxing Championship, PBC. which is great. Pareho sila ng promotion sa US ni Manny Pacquiao. And then,
ito yun a lot of people see the potential of Yumir
Yeah.
Marshall, so now it's up to him to make it happen. And so far din naman, his work ethic is really good. The way he performed in all of the Olympic qualifiers is a clear testament to his skill set. So now it's just a matter of, so let's see how it happens.
so
Pero definitely,
Andrew Whitfield is 31 sa boxing, the pro, and he's also an MMA fighter. So kung magkakawakan tong ano to,
Saan siya
And-
lumaban?
some
sigurado marami mga
promotion in the
small
US,
promotions yan.
Yeah. And ang maganda dito, may lumabas na video, I think earlier today din, where Yumir Marshall was sparring
Ito ba yung
against
sparring
Gabe Rosado,
Oo.
who recently fought.
Ito yung sa gym ni Wildcard, di ba?
Sa wildcard, yeah. Kasi
Ay.
si Gabe Rosado is a wildcard boxer din. But this guy, si Rosado has fought the likes of Daniel Jacobs, GGG, hindi to ordinary fighter. Tapos, if you will find the video online, makita nyo na parang medyo na-overwhelm tong si Rosado sa power ni Marshall, which is a good sign, hopefully.
I hope that translates
Yeah.
towards fight night.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just a matter of translating everything to fight night.
Thank you ulit for continuing to support our podcast, our show. If you want us to discuss anything, feel free to leave a comment on our post. For any promotions out there, lalo na sa boxing or any foreign MMA or combat sports promotions, so we're here. We can commentate on your events. Hindi yung puro, galing sumunod. Okay yan. Tama, sa pool.
Punch! Kick!
Galing na suntok. Tinatlo pa. Hindi yung ganyan. Medyo mas okay na breakdown.
Parang alam ko yan Alam na this. A couple of congressmen would like to ban minors from participating in combat sports. It's not, it's on the docket. Hindi pa siya law, guys. Pinagdidiskusyonan pa siya.
Yeah.
Pero we'd like you guys who are combat sports fans to weigh in and how it will affect our grassroots programs.
Let us know what you think about it.
Yan. So, couldn't have handled this program any better. So, together with my co-host, JC Reyes and Karl Mesa, please put in the comment section your thoughts about the slamming thing. Okay? How about banning it in professional sports, which is something that a lot of people are doing. It's very underrated, pero the effectiveness is there. So let's see, what are your thoughts? Okay, let us know in the comment section. And then the reason why we're putting off discussion for the House bill is because we want to better understand the message behind it. We're constantly reading and then we're assessing how this will progress. Yeah, we've seen the initial reaction. We've heard a lot of ito rin yun that's why we're thanking you, the martial arts community, kasi you're all sending us this. Ako ang dami ko natanggap na Prof, what do you think about this bill? What do you think about, and a lot of martial arts personalities have also voiced out their opinions on social media, but let's all collect your opinions, put them down in the comment section so that at least when the powers at B can see that there is a comment section thread that discusses the good, the bad, and the worst points of this bill. They have
Because
a
it
better
might be coming
understanding.
from a good place for the
diba?
lawmakers. Yeah.
Okay, so the aim of Combat Sports Weekly rin naman since day one is to spread awareness and educate. That's why we're doing a lot of breakdowns. That's why we're doing a lot of discussions and meta-analysis of the fights. It's because we want the fighters, the coaches, the fans to have a better understanding of what really happens inside the ring, inside the cage, and now with Karate Combat inside the pit. So, on behalf of Dstry MNL and Coach Franco Says, we will see you guys next week for another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. Bye-bye.
Coach Franco Says, we'd like to thank our partners for making this episode possible.
Be in the moment. Have that faceless emotion. Beware the Robert face. I am Knots and Crosses. Place your orders on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Promoting community and culture, just good vibes in the local jiu-jitsu scene. Visit Ikaro Collective at ikaro.ph. Simply Better Dentistry, the best dental service in the heart of Makati. Visit the Santos Dental Group and Oral Surgery Center. Book an appointment on their Facebook page. You gotta get rid of bacteria and viruses. Get Nano Silver Immune Support Supplement. Order your bottles from their Facebook and Instagram pages. For local martial arts news here in the Philippines, visit Local MMA on Facebook. And of course, this episode was recorded with my brothers from Dstry MNL. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this week's combat sports news, and we enjoy making this for you. So I hope you learned something, and we're gonna see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.